All right, here we go. Phillies playoffs, Eagles undefeated. We're talking about it all in the Sports Hounds coming up next.
Let's go! This ain't the Rock Night. Boss is getting he stink.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
All right, everybody, hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. Sports Hounds, exclusively on A2D Radio. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Periscope. If you miss anything here on A2D Radio, whether this show, another show, whatever, and you shouldn't miss anything because the Phillies are rolling, the Eagles are rolling, hockey, basketball, football, and baseball. We got the four majors going right now, so flip on those notifications. Don't do anything. Let's talk about our great sponsors before we get into it. We'll talk about Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. He's our doc. Make him yours too. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Also, do you have damage to your home or property? We may be able to help. Don't fight your homeowner's insurance alone. ARIA Public Adjusting, 813-564-3364. Tell them we sent you here from A2D. Exciting time. We're leading with baseball. We got the NLDS starting tomorrow at 1. As disappointing as that is, but we do have an NLDS game in Atlanta. Phillies, Braves. We got a bunch of other series to talk about, too. We got a Monday Night Football game to talk about. Eagles win again, 20-17 out in the desert. And, oh, by the way, we're playing Dallas on Sunday night next week. So we have a lot to talk about. Let's start with the Phillies. Let's start with the Phillies will advance to the NLDS. That's a typo. No. I'm sorry. CS.
No typo. You're good.
We're in the DS.
Yes.
So I did it right. I got scared for a second there.
DS is a good item.
So the Phillies will beat the Braves and advance to the NLCS. I'm all in on this baseball team right now. I think getting momentum and playing in the wild card round is actually going to help this baseball team against a team that was sitting. I know the Braves are good, and they inked up another one of their young studs today with a 6-year, $95 million contract, whatever it was with Strider. A lot of good players over there. They're the champs. They're the champs for a reason. But when you go to game one and you're on the road and you have a 97% chance to lose the baseball game going into the ninth inning, which is what ESPN's Next Gen Stats indicated, and you come up with a win, but not only a win, but a convincing win to go up 1-0, and then you come out the next night, don't even mess around. Your MVP goes yachts. Aaron Nola pitches like an ace. Bullpen shuts it down, and you're in the NLDS, hoping to go to the NLCS against the Braves. I don't know who's going to pitch game one. I don't really care. Game one is critical. I like the Phillies in 4 here, and I like them a lot. So you win game one. That's obviously essential. Then you're probably going to have your aces back on the hill, right? For 2 and 3.
Yeah, game one you got Ranger versus Fried. And then game 2, I think it's going to be Kyle Wright versus Zach Wheeler.
And then Nola will pitch game 3.
Against Charlie Morton.
I don't care who they're playing. They're toast down in Atlanta. They're toast. They did not want this team to get hot. And how about this? They're also manufacturing runs. They're bunting the baseball. They're scoring without hitting the 3-run homer. They're playing really good baseball right now. Atlanta's in serious trouble. I like the Phillies in 4. Rangers got to pitch well in game 1. If the Phillies win game 1, it's a wrap. Total wrap. Because if Ranger wins game 1 and you get a split with your aces, you're coming to Philly. You're going to have game 3 in Philly, right?
Yeah, the first game in Philly will be game 3 on Friday.
So then I have Nola in game 3. If I split in Atlanta, I have Nola in game 3 at home.
Yes.
I feel really good about how he's pitching right now. So I got that as a win. And then you figure it out in game 4, you stick a fork in them. So I love the Phillies in 4, right to the NLCS. Not out of the question. I mean, look, Padres, Dodgers on the other side of the bracket. Who knows? They got a lot of talent over there. We'll evaluate that once we get past Atlanta. But the Phillies are 1,000% going to the NLDS. What do you got, Jay?
Yes, NLCS. Yeah, I'm all with you.
It's D's and C's. I don't even know what's going on. I'm so excited.
Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. I don't know how you could count this baseball team out if they continue to pitch the way that they pitch. I mean, this isn't a fluke. Aaron Nola pitched unbelievable in Houston, Game 1. And let's be real. If they don't win that Game 1 in Houston, they're probably not going to be in this playoff race right now. So the way that Aaron Nola pitched in Houston when Houston was still trying, that leads me to believe that Aaron Nola.
Houston was trying? Wait, Houston was trying?
I mean, they were throwing out their pitchers. I mean,
well,
you saw what we did once
games.
You saw what happened once we clinched, Brad.
They had to play games.
Let's forget about that. Let's talk about Aaron Nola and how the past 2 starts he's been absolutely dominant. The way he's been pitching against these playoff teams throughout the entire season has been unbelievable. I still go back to that Jacob deGrom versus Aaron Nola battle in August, I think it was. We could do this all day. I mean, I'm with the chop. Me and Evan Taylor, ask Jamie Brace.
Why
Let's
are you
go.
with the chop?
What can I
Who's
say?
playing the chop?
Ask Jamie Brace.
Brad?
Alma
high school.
Mater. We got to go with the chop right now. Not the Atlanta Brace. That's Jamie
Your high
Brace.
school uses the chop?
We were doing that when we were down 50-0 during football games.
I would call you racist, but my high school did the chop as well.
But here's the deal. Aaron
It is
Nola
annoying,
is
isn't it?
It is obnoxious, quite frankly. Obnoxious.
Don't worry. When the Yankees play them in the World Series, they'll shut up.
You're getting chopped to death, too, because guess what? Your skanks are in trouble. Not a good matchup.
How are they in trouble? They're
Not a
facing
good matchup.
Cal
I love
Quantrill
Cleveland.
in the first.
Dude, I
in
love
game 1.
Cleveland.
They've got their ace
I'm
pitching
all in
game
on
2,
Cleveland.
Nestor Cortez, and
Yeah,
Luis
right,
Severino in game 3. We're in trouble.
Here's what Terry Francona is going to go look to his catcher and go 4 every time Aaron Judge is up, and all the rest of your bums are going to strike out and underachieve.
Oh yeah, we have nobody else who can hit. We just have 4 guys who had 30 home runs this year. But nobody on our team
roll
can
back
hit.
we should roll back the tape when we were doing shows in August when the Yankees were putrid, and you were saying this season's over.
They were all.
It's such a fluke.
Did Stanton play in August?
No. Is Stanton back to form?
Did Anthony Rizzo play in August?
How did Anthony Rizzo do this year besides strike out and hit home runs?
He hit. Let's see. He had 32, 33 home runs.
I just can't wait. I just can't wait
90
till
RBIs.
Shane Bieber comes alive in game 2, and then
have you ever
McKenzie
seen
comes
Shane
alive
Bieber
in
pitch
game
against
3.
the Yankees?
I haven't seen it as of recently this playoff.
I suggest you look up his numbers against the New York Yankees because
one New York team already went like that, and I already know your New York team is going to go like that as well.
Just like Corey Kluber, he is the Yankees' bitch. The only pitcher on that team that can actually get the Yankees out is McKenzie. The other guys, we destroyed. We killed Cleveland this year. In case you didn't notice, we destroyed them.
Take this receipt and play it this time next week. And see what happens. But anyway, going back to the Phillies' chances.
By the way, you can dream all you want about beating the Braves. You know you're not beating the Braves. The Braves have better pitching than you. They're a deeper, more talented team than you.
When's the last time they played a baseball game?
14 games ahead of you.
Brad, you're a sports guy. You're a sports guy.
They have
when is the last
field? I mean, come on now.
Screw
the world champions. The Phillies beat a team that never hits in the playoffs. When was the last time the Cardinals won a playoff series? 10 years ago when they won the World Series?
Yeah, that's
not with this group.
Accurate.
This group.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's irrelevant and it's inaccurate. But going back to Aaron Nola, going back to the question, going back to Zach Wheeler, we have right now currently.
I take the Braves pitching over the Phillies pitching every day.
When's the last time the Braves played a baseball game? You're not new to the sport, Brad.
Who cares?
So how often do not, when the team goes on a little break, their bats come out cold, right or wrong?
I doubt it.
Right. We have
not
all
against
the momentum in the world.
Not against Ranger Suarez.
Probably.
He's Sandy Koufax,
so what are we talking about? What are we
Wait,
talking
he's Sandy. Oh, I forgot. He's Sandy Koufax, right?
The two best starting pitchers in the series are on the Phillies.
They
and
are?
that's going to be happening on game
Really?
2.
How many
and game
20
3.
game winners did you have?
Oh my God!
That's
Here we
besides
go.
the point.
Now I have to explain to you how wins.
Who are the
How many
hottest
20 game winners
pitchers?
did you
Who are
have?
the hottest pitchers in the series right now,
Why don't
Brad?
we use our
the
brains
hottest
and use
pitchers
our
in the series?
eyes and look at
They
what's
didn't
going
play
on
in the
the
first round
landscape
because
of the
they
league
actually
and look at how just
legitimately
dominant
won the
that
division
Wheeler and Nola
and
have
didn't have to
been
back into
over
the
the past
playoffs.
month.
Brad,
They
who are the
backed
hottest
into the
pitchers
playoffs.
in this series right now? Name the 2 hottest
Phillies
pitchers
aren't even in
this
the
series right
playoffs
now.
without Aaron Nola
Braves-
September.
The Braves are the hottest team in baseball. What are you talking about?
Brad,
Do you even know what you're talking about? Do you
who
look
are
past
the
your
two
Philadelphia
the two
eyes?
hottest pitchers? The 2 hottest pitchers in baseball right now in the series right now. Who are they?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola.
They're
Whatever.
hot.
It's definitely Aaron Nola.
And Aaron Nola is way up.
Mm-hmm.
You could give me
Aaron
Dax
Nola.
Freed.
What
You give
game
me
and he's
Spencer
starting the
Strider's
next game.
weak arm right now because he's been on the How long has he been on the IL? When's the last time he pitched?
Who?
September 10th. Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider. Probably their
What about
second best
Spencer
pitcher this
Strider?
year.
What about Ken Wright? Oh, I guess
Kyle,
he stinks. I forgot. He,
no, Kyle Wright,
he
I mean,
stinks, and
no.
he stinks.
I mean,
Matt Freed.
I said
Freed,
they were
yeah,
a good
he's gonna
team
win.
at the top of the show. I don't know what the fuck you want.
Freed is
you
the
want
Freed is the
you want to qualify a pitcher to be good when they have 20-plus wins. That's fine. But I'm looking with my eyes
I haven't
right
said
now, and my
anything
eyes
bad
are
about the
telling me
Braves other
Who
than
did
that. I
Aaron
think they're
Nola
going to lose
is
to
the
the
hottest
Phillies.
pitcher in the
Who did
series
they
right now.
beat? Who did they beat? The Cardinals?
What's
That
Wright's numbers
division
against
is the
Phillies
worst
this year?
division in baseball next to yours. I mean, that division's the clown division. You have Milwaukee, who couldn't even
Why-
beat Miami or
Whoa.
Cincinnati.
How is
Okay,
the NL
St. Louis,
East a
somebody
bad
had to win
division?
that
We have
division.
We had 3 playoff
Somebody
teams.
had to win that
Yeah.
division.
3
So was the
playoff
Cardinals.
teams, and 2 of them have a chance, still have a chance to go to the World Series.
Okay.
I think all the AL East teams fell flat on their face. Besides the Yankees, who didn't even have to play, who played in the wild card.
We probably would have
Rays
fell on
got
their face.
swept by Cleveland, and Toronto blew an 8-run lead in what was the demise of Game 2, which is embarrassing
Which
at
is
home.
pretty
Absolutely embarrassing. You want to take shots at the NL East? Are you good? Are you cool?
The
Are you
National
okay
League
tonight?
East is nowhere near as good as the American League East. They don't get to play. We don't get to play
Playoff
teams
results
like the.
indicate
We don't get to play teams
We
like,
have-
like the
otherwise.
Marlins
2
and
teams
the
left. You have 1
and the
team left.
Washington Nationals. Big deal. It's a different league.
No, we're
You-
busy
you wanna
playing
go
the
about
Mets
all
and
these
Scherzer
concrete
and
facts?
DeGrom and the defending champ were Atlanta Braves. But, I mean, I
Brad,
don't know.
you
I guess
only
that's
wanna
what
go-
it is.
Brad.
Sucks.
Brad, you only want to go with the concrete facts when it fits your agenda.
The
But here's
concrete
the facts
facts
right
are
now.
the
No, no, no,
Atlanta
no.
Braves
Here-
are
here's-
a much better
Here's
team
the real
than
life
the
agenda,
Phillies.
Brad. We have 2 teams left. You have 1 team left. So who's the better?
Who
the
cares
better,
about how many
division?
teams you have left? Who cares?
Because
The-
you're
the
saying that the
bottom
NL
line
East
is-
is weak
the bottom
sauce, and
line
there's
is-
8 teams left, and we have
The
2 of them
bottom
from
line
the
is
division.
you are going
What's-
to
What are
play.
you talking about?
You are going to play the Atlanta Braves, and you are going to lose. And by the way, you wouldn't
You
even.
still haven't
make
even
the
let me
playoffs in
answer
American
the
League
question
East.
yet. I said
They
2
wouldn't
sentences,
even
and
make
you
the
didn't let me
playoffs
answer
in
the
the
question.
American League East. You wouldn't even beat Baltimore. How
Yeah,
about
okay.
that?
Okay. that's
Baltimore
cool.
would beat you.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's
I
see.
mean,
You play
do-
38 games against a AAA team and a AA team, and you're trying to make like you're the best
Brad,
team in baseball.
Brad, you're always
Congratulations.
No. Brad, listen. Just listen for
Congratulations.
once.
My minor
listen
league
for a
team
minute.
could beat the Marlins and the Nationals.
Brad, just listen for a minute.
My
Because
AAA
if
team
you-
could beat them.
I don't care about your AAA team. I really don't.
I don't care about your team. Your team's.
So then why do you talk about them so much?
Huh? Well, we're talking about them now, so I'm talking about
But
it.
you're not letting
They're
me
not
answer the
beating
question.
Braves.
You're not letting me
Okay,
answer
if
the
you're a
question.
Philly fan now, try to take your fan because here's the problem with the Philadelphia sports fan when they
If you
analyze.
let me answer the question, you'd
They
hear what I
never,
have to say
they
about it.
never take their fandom out of the picture and look at the whole picture. Okay, the Atlanta Braves are a better.
And New York
baseball
fans always
team
have
than
built-in
the
excuses. You guys are
Huh?
fraudulent fans, always
Yeah.
building in excuses.
I'm
Because
not
New
an
York
Atlanta
fans
Braves fan,
don't do
I'm
the
actually
same thing
fraudulent.
Philadelphia fans do.
Fraudulent
I'm a
Give me a
behavior, Brad.
break.
You want to hear facts, Brad? Do you want to hear the
Huh?
facts?
You wanna hear the
really about
facts?
this Phil-
You had
No.
6,000
No, it's
people
my
at
turn
your
to speak.
freaking
It's my
games
turn
in
to speak,
Denver
Brad.
last year.
It's my turn to speak,
6,000
Brad.
people. You are a cockroach fan base.
That's fine. You can
6,000
call us
people.
cockroaches all you want, but you're
6,000
not
people
you're the
at
one that's not
Citizens
letting me
Bank
talk.
last year. So don't give me that crap. Don't even talk
What are you
about other
talking
fan
about?
bases because you guys are as bad as the Cowboy fans. You're both the same little cockroaches that
Based
come
on
out from
what?
under the
6,000 fans where?
Okay.
When?
There were 6,000 fans at the bank last year in September when the Phillies fell apart. You don't support your team when they're down.
Okay.
How many games are you going to sell out this year with the Flyers?
Why would I
Are you-
spend
is
my
there
money
gonna
to go
be
support a
anybody there?
shit product?
Do you want to hear this fact, Brad, about this
Pick your
Philadelphia
team.
Phillies baseball team this year?
Doesn't mean I
No,
have to sit
I'll
down
give
there
you
and
a fact.
spend my money on
Okay,
a
but-
complete
Oh,
trash.
here we go. You're just
No
proving
one's
my
going to
point.
do that.
Look who's
It's
proving
not my
point.
job to support the team no matter what. It's their job to compel me to support them.
See,
But we
you're
never
just-
have built-in
you just-
excuses like
you
New York
just
fans do.
ruined- You just made my point.
But we never have
You know,
built-in
not
excuses.
everybody is
The
Thomas
amount of built-in
Arnone
excuses
and
I've heard
watches
about your
every game
Giants right now,
regardless of
and
how
now you
bad they
support you're rocking the Saquon Barkley jersey tonight. The amount of excuses I've heard, built-in excuses for your
What
New York
excuses
Giants
are
this
you
year.
talking
The
about? What, because I said
Giants,
that
they
the
didn't have
Braves
many
are better than-
fans. They didn't have many fans in the stands last year. Why?
at
Because
the end
they
of the
sucked.
season? Yeah, but all the tickets were sold.
Brad, how many times did we
Yeah,
beat
I'm
Sandy
sure
Alcantara
the
this year?
tickets weren't sold in Philadelphia either.
Brad, how many times
Grow
did we
up.
beat
Give me
Sandy
a break.
Alcantara this year?
Hmm?
How many times did the Phillies beat Alcantara this year?
A lot.
I don't know.
Every
lot.
time they played them.
Do you know that we have a winning record combined against every single NL playoff team this year if you take out the Mets, and the Mets aren't even in it right now. So every team that's left combined, we have a winning record against the Dodgers, against the Padres. And then if
so
you
I
want to
guess
throw
that
in the
means you're going
Braves,
to
you
the
want to
World
sprinkle in the
Series
Braves.
because
But you want to
playoffs
hear
aren't-
all these
the playoffs
facts.
are
I'm
just-
telling you
are just the
facts.
same.
We win against these teams.
the
What are you
playoffs
talking
are-
about?
The playoffs are a different animal.
Okay, and we just
Okay.
won a playoff series. So what are you talking about?
Big deal. You beat the Cardinals. They stink.
The
They got
Card-
2 hitters on their team.
The Cardinals that had the MVP that everybody was saying that we're worried about because
You have two-
they're just a winning
have
organization.
two-
All they do is
They
find a way to
have
win.
2 hitters on their team, and they choked
Two
like
hitters.
dogs. Who? The Cardinals. They have 2 hitters on their team.
Do you know we shut down Arenado and Goldschmidt all year, Brad?
I don't
know,
know. I don't watch minor league baseball. I watch the real baseball, which is the American.
Well, it's evident that you do know nothing about the Phillies based off the last 17 minutes and 18 seconds of the show. Now, if you want to let me answer the poll, if you want to let me answer the poll,
I've seen the Braves play, and they are a significantly better team than the Phillies.
when's the last time you saw the Braves play?
Huh?
Seriously.
Let's
When's the last time you
see.
saw the Braves play?
When they beat the Mets 2 weeks ago, 3 straight.
2 weeks ago. But you said playoff baseball is different. So what was 2 weeks ago? Was that just
obviously
a
when the
prequel
Braves
to
beat
the
the
freaking
Mets,
playoffs right now?
when the Braves beat the Mets, okay, it obviously took all
The
the
Mets
starch
that
out
suck,
of the Mets.
right? The Mets that suck right now, right? Because they failed and they choked. They
Who, the
had
Mets?
one hit in an elimination game yesterday.
suck.
That same team.
You know what? They're so pathetic that when they couldn't hit, they had the pitcher searched for illegal substances. I mean, what the heck was that? That's pathetic.
To be honest, I don't care. I just want to answer the poll question so Evan can answer the poll question.
My answer to the poll question is the Braves are going to beat the
All
Phillies.
right, we
in
get
4.
it. You don't think the Phillies are going to fucking win. Now let Jimmy answer and let Evan answer.
The Philadelphia Phillies will advance to the NLCS. I agree. They're winning in 4. Quite frankly, the past 18 minutes have made me want to switch my whole prediction to we're sweeping that bum-ass organization in the Atlanta Braves. Prior to last year, all they did was choke. The facts are the Braves and the Phillies. Aaron Nola, better than Max Fried. Zach Wheeler, better than Kyle Wright or Ken Wright, whatever the hell his name is. Ken Wright. Give me Ken Wright. Give me Kenny Chesney. I don't care. The Philadelphia Phillies are going to win this series. Ranger Suarez versus Max Fried tomorrow. I think it's a toss-up. Now, if we lose that game tomorrow, I still think we have a chance because you're coming back with Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler in Game 2 and Game 3. Aaron Nola is going to be starting Citizens Bank Park Friday night. First home playoff game that we've had in 11 seasons.
In the worst case scenario for the Braves, they win Game 1, they lose Game 2 and Game 3. Who are you pitching Game 4 and 5?
You're
Just
probably
asking.
going to go back. You're gonna go back to Ranger Suarez on
Going
Saturday,
back to Suarez.
And then Wheeler.
and then
And
Wheeler
Wheeler
will close
in
out
five.
Game 5.
3 days.
Thursday.
This
On
isn't
3
rocket
days rest?
science in a 5-game series, Brad.
On
Like
3 days rest? Okay.
How many times have you
How
seen
many times
playoff
have you
teams
done that? How many
How many
times have you
times-
done that?
I'll start Eflin then and
How
have
many
Wheeler
times-
back him up.
How many
He
times have
also
you
is
seen?
coming back from having a sore arm in September too.
There's
So I guess
there's so many ways you can scheme this in a 5-game series. So many ways.
if it was a
How many
7-game series, I think you'd have a better chance, quite honestly. But with a
That's wrong.
5-game series,
I don't
You
agree
call
with
yourself a
that.
baseball fan, that's totally wrong. Totally wrong.
I don't
We
agree
have
with
a better
that.
shot at a
It's
5-game
not
series.
wrong. It's not wrong when
Because
your
we are
ace
top
pitcher
heavy in
can't
the
start
starting
game one.
rotation.
When your
simple
ace
math.
starts, your ace doesn't get to pitch twice in this series. You understand that, right?
That's why we have 2 aces. Is Zach
Yes, he
Wheeler not an ace?
does. Wheeler is pitching twice.
On 3 days rest the second time if he has to pitch.
Wednesday to
Well, he has a
Sunday.
whole week.
Wednesday to Sunday is 4 days rest.
He's fine.
If he pitches Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
He's not pitching
days.
Wednesday. He's gonna pay. What's today? He's pitching
Today's Monday.
Suarez. So Wednesday. They're off Thursday, Friday.
And if it's a night game, Sunday, which who knows, we might get the primetime spot.
That depends. If the Yankees are playing, they'll have a day. If the Yankees
we're gonna have day games.
We don't got to worry about that. The Yankees are losing in 4.
Yeah, right. Keep dreaming.
I had
You
Cleveland
totally
in
lost
5.
your mind.
Yeah, I mean,
After Brad's
just a
antics at the top
And
of the show,
I'm sure you'll probably pick Houston to sweep, which I would.
I think Seattle gets one.
If Luis Castillo pitches any game, I'm riding with Luis Castillo.
That's probably the game he'll win.
Yeah, don't
Ev,
expect much from Robbie Ray.
I got Phillies.
Robbie Ray proved what he really is made of.
That last game, that's going to be a 50-50, I think. That last game is going to be a 50-50. I think they go the distance. But if we have Wheeler that last game, I think we win that one. Because, I mean, Phillies are hot right now. I don't care if they won only 2 games, but like we said, playoff baseball is a different atmosphere, different everything. So I think the bank will be rocking. I think we'll be just as hostile as down there in Atlanta. But it's going to be a good series. I think we'll win and go in the distance.
Oh, in 5?
Yeah.
So Sunday would be 4 days rest. He's definitely pitching. Wheeler's definitely pitching Sunday.
Yeah,
he can easily go Wednesday and Sunday.
Brad, that's 4 days rest.
If he pitches Wednesday, it's Thursday, Friday,
Thursday,
Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
It's 3 days rest.
And then he pitches Sunday.
Right. He's pitching on the 4th day instead of the 5th day, which is when they always pitch. Big difference.
Just explain to us for 15 minutes about how the playoffs are different than the regular season.
It's also semantics.
Well, they are different.
Absolutely,
the playoffs are different than the regular. The playoffs are different from the regular season because
if he doesn't pitch, you fucking goon, fucking Eflin or some bullshit guy will start, and then Wheeler will just come in the 4th and pitch till the 7th or the 8th, and have the bullpen shut it down. There's so many different ways you can scheme it.
The game could be over by then.
You're so archaic in your thinking. The fact that it's a 5-game series helps the Phillies tremendously.
No, it
tremendously.
Not when your ace has to pitch on 3 days to rest. Come on, he's not going to be able to pitch more than 4 innings. That's a big factor.
All right, Mr. Genius. So the Yankees aren't sweeping the Indians, right? So you're gonna have Garrett Cole in game 1.
I think the Yankees will win in 4. That's I
have the Indians in 5. All right, so Garrett Cole, excellent pitcher. He's your ace. He's pitching tomorrow, Tuesday.
Correct.
Then I assume you're going Wednesday, right?
Wednesday is no, they go Thursday.
I got it right here on my phone.
I think they play Thursday, I think.
Tuesday's the 11th. So you play at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And by the way, the Phillies are playing all-day games because Atlanta's a shit market. So if you're disappointed with the daytimes, get used to it in this series because if they have the chance to put the Phillies in the day, they're going to do it because the Yankees and the Astros and the Dodgers aren't playing during the day. Sorry. So you're playing – okay, you're off Wednesday.
Right. Then they pitch Thursday. That'll be Cortez.
Then you're off again Friday, too?
They were off on Friday, too?
No, that can't be right. It's got to be the same
schedule. They play
schedule.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday?
Well, that's not fair. How is that fair?
That's an advantage for the Indians because one of their pitchers get to get an extra day rest.
See, you're already building in the excuses.
So game 5.
I'm just saying that's an advantage.
Monday.
Well, no, actually, Quantrill would get the extra day rest because he's pitching game.
What do you guys get the extra day rest too, Brad?
I'm the guy who pitches the first game will get an extra day rest if there's a game 5.
they can't have 2 days off in a row.
They do.
They don't have 2 days off in a row. They have the Yankees play Tuesday, Thursday, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I guess I don't know why
they
would
have
make
off
that
in between
schedule.
game
That's
1
weird,
and game 2.
Huh?
They have
So
off
the
between
Phillies play
game 1 and game
Wednesday,
2.
Thursday. No, they play Tuesday, Wednesday, and then what? Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And the Yankees have 2 off days.
I guess.
Built in there. That's stupid. But whatever. So you'll get Cole on regular rest in game 4.
Correct. And if they want to use Cortez, they'd have to pitch him on 3 days rest, I think. I'm not sure.
And you wouldn't do that.
If he pitches Thursday, that would be Friday, Saturday. So now he'd have to pitch on 3 days rest. So
And you're not putting Nestor Cortez, by far your second best pitcher, out there on 3 days rest in game 5.
Oh, he'll pitch on 3 days rest, but he probably will only be able to pitch like 4 innings. I mean, that's just, guys aren't
Why
used
is
to
that
pitching on 3
different?
days.
First off, Wheeler's better than Nestor Cortez.
What's his
Anyway.
ERA?
I
Wheeler.
don't care what his
about the
ERA is. I
ERA?
actually
Watch the
watched
game.
both leagues, unlike
Huh?
you.
Oh, I watched the games. Nestor Cortez is great. Have you watched the
You told me at the top of the show you
I've
didn't
watched
watch the
Nestor
National
Cortez.
League because it was minor
2.5
leagues.
ERA this year.
So
It's
I have to
2.5
assume that you
ERA,
don't watch
so
the
I
National
don't
League
know.
based on what
Maybe
Have
you
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 watched
guys
Zach
don't.
Wheeler compete against playoff teams?
Huh?
Have you watched Zach Wheeler pitch against playoff teams that are in the
I
playoffs
saw the Mets
right
beat him up a few times, but I don't know. I'm
And
not
the Mets
counting
aren't
against
in.
playoff teams.
And the Mets are out.
Huh?
So
Yes, the Mets are out. So, but
Who cares about
the
the
Braves are a
Mets? The Mets
better hitting
stink.
team than the Mets.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think the Braves are going to get one hit in a deciding
we'll see.
game. I can't see that happening.
We'll see.
I don't know, but the Padres pitchers look good. Darvish went out in game 1 and did his thing, and Musgrove did his thing last night.
Musgrove was very good.
I don't know. I picked the Dodgers
Blake
in
Snell
4.
pitched his typical playoff game, which is
He
not
hasn't
very
been the
good.
same since Cash took him out in the COVID World Series.
All right, so everyone except Brad has the Phillies in the NLCS. Let's get to some comments here. Matt Spillane, as long as Wheeler and Nola are pitching, we can beat anyone. Agreed to the poll. We should have taken the season series against the Braves this year if it wasn't for a few bad bullpen games. I don't know what the season series did, but I feel like the Phillies did a lot better. First off, if anything Girardi managed, just crumble it up and throw it in the trash can. Only Pete Thompson or Rob Thompson games should be counted in any statistic about what has gone on in this Phillies season. And by the way, he gets a new 2-year deal today. He's not the interim manager anymore. Well-deserved. Great job by the Phillies.
It's about time. Yeah, he deserves that. He's done a good job with them. I mean, what were they? They were under 500 when he took over, weren't they?
They were terrible.
They were 7 games under 500. And then I think while he was managing, he was 20 games over 500 or something like that.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah. Going to Matt's comment, he's totally right. Braves this year, if it wasn't for a few bad bullpen games, and I think Rob Thompson has pressed all the right buttons in those first 2 games. Like, he's obviously not going to bring out bums like Nick Nelson or any other bum. What's the other one?
There's so many.
He knows better. He knows
one
better.
On the top of my head, but he stinks too.
Bilotti.
Bilotti and Connor Brogdon. They're not going to sniff a playoff game. He's going to keep it in the circle. He's going to have these 4 guys, whether it's Roberson, whether it's Sir Anthony, whether it's Eflin, whether it's Alvarado. He's going to ride with those 4, and let's go. I mean, in any situation, if you want to maybe bring in Kyle Gibson for an inning, if you absolutely need to, because I'm taking Gibby over Bilotti or Nick Nelson or any other of those bums that are on the playoff roster. Syndergaard can drive back up to Queens.
No, in no way, shape, or form should Noah Syndergaard or Kyle Gibson, for that matter, touch a baseball during the series.
If you need either or, I'm taking.
No, I don't need him. I don't need him in a 5-game series. I would leave him off the roster.
Only in an extra inning game you'd use them.
I'd rather pitch a position guy.
Oh, come
honestly.
on.
I'd rather pitch Bryce with one arm.
Garrett Stubbs?
No way, shape, or form. Not in a 5-game series. I understand if you get past this and play the NLCS, you're going to need a fourth starter. I get that. And then Noah Syndergaard will have to pitch one game. And he'll be on maybe – I don't even know. Maybe you pitch Bailey Falter. What do I know? Crushing the guy all year, but I think he's better than Syndergaard and Gibson combined.
Rob, we can't have Bailey Falter. I know he's been hot. He's been hot as of late, but
if you get into a 7-game series, Jimmy, against the Dodgers or the Padres,
you got to throw out Gibson. You have to throw out Gibson.
No, are you kidding me? An 8 ERA in September.
Gibson or Falter, you got to go Gibson. You almost have
Based
to.
on what?
The fact that Gibson has been good in his career and Bailey Falter is hot garbage.
I don't care about his career. I care about right fucking now. And
I think that would be. I think that's going to be a bullpen game. If you have to do that, you might as well have a bullpen game. You know, pitch one guy against the righties and pitch another guy against the lefties and try to do that and match up.
You can easily scheme a bullpen game.
Yeah, you can do that a lot easier than throwing a bad pitcher out there. You don't want to do that.
Matt Spillane, Brad will hate on every Phillies player and team no matter what. Stop the bullshit and put the Mets down, Brad. I mean, they might lose. I'm picking him to win.
The Mets?
The Braves might lose. They're really good.
I'm not a Met. Oh, the Mets. Okay. Okay. Well, the Mets. Okay. If you want to say that, I'm okay with that, Matt. Just don't say the Mets down. I'd be more offended if you said the Mets. The Mets, that's okay. Whatever.
You'd rather be a Mets head than cheer for
Greg
the Mets?
Milakovic, he's in the house. He agrees to the poll. Amanda Stevenson, she has a question. How do you feel about them going to the playoffs from Bryce Harper? What are your expectations? And also, do you think they will beat the Braves? Yeah, they're going to beat the Braves. Harper's going to be fine. Wheeler's going to be fine. Nola's going to be fine. Phillies are moving on.
I agree.
Frank Vespio, a tough series, but if the Phillies can advance, I see them having to take one of these games in Atlanta. Yeah, game one is critical because then you got 2 and 3. You win game one, you're staring a sweep in the eye. You got your 2 aces on the mound. Why would I not feel good about that with the way they're pitching?
Especially
Joseph Farowski, remember in 2001 when Schilling and Johnson pitched almost every game of the World Series? Yeah, that's what aces do. They're not little bitch asses, and they sack up, and they earn their money, and they pitch on 3 days rest. That's what's going to happen now and in the NLCS and in the World Series. God willing, we get to the World Series or the NLCS. I think we are going to get.
In 2009, if you remember, the Yankees were the ones that pitched Sabathia on 3 days rest, and Cliff Lee wouldn't pitch on 3 days rest. And I think that may have cost you guys the series, to be honest with you.
Probably did, and Cole Hamels was on his period the whole month of October.
Blanton, the Yankees, they pitched Blanton, and the Yankees beat up on Blanton.
They lost that series because Cole Hamels, bless his soul, for 2008, but he was a little bitch. His wife had a baby, and he wasn't getting sleep at night, and he folded like a tent. And it was cold out, and New York was loud and mean. He was a bitch. That's why you had to pitch Pedro in an obnoxious spot. And I think it was game 3. Like, it was ridiculous. That series was all on Cole Hamels. Chase Utley had a home run every time he stepped to the bat, and Cliff Lee damn near threw a no-hitter every time he went. But your number 2 pitcher, Cole Hamels, was a bitch. And I hope he's listening.
Cliff Lee should have pitched on 3 days rest, though. I'm just saying he should have pitched game 4.
Maybe, but Cliff Lee also didn't. Cliff Lee also refused surgery after we paid him all that money.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just making a point, though. You're right about aces do have to pitch on 3 days rest, but you don't know what you're. The problem is you don't know what you're getting, and you're probably not going to get a long out. You could get an effective outing. I mean, I can remember one time. Who was the guy in the Marlins that pitched for the Red Sox? Josh, what the hell was his last name? I can't remember.
Who, Beckett?
Beckett, yeah. Beckett pitched on 3 days rest against the Yankees in game 6, was it? In 2004.
Yeah, it was 3.
2003. He pitched game 6 on 3 days rest, and he pitched a complete game shutout. It can happen, but
Joseph Orosky, got to
Some
take into
guys
account
can do that, but it's not easy. I mean, Randy Johnson did it. What he did, he came back against the Yankees on 2 days rest to pitch in extra innings, I think in 1995. And the Yankees smacked him around. But then they brought in, what's his name? Jack McDowell, who got whacked around by Griffey and Edgar Martinez. And that was the end of it. That was it for the Yankees that year. But, it's not always – you don't always get the same pitchers. That's all I'm saying. It's not a lock when it's 3 days rest. You don't know what you're necessarily going to get. The only thing I'm saying, and the same thing goes for Nestor Cortez, guys. I'll say the same thing for him. Nestor Cortez was on the injured list from the middle of August to the middle of September, as was Zach Wheeler. Okay, and now you're going to pitch him on 3 days rest. I don't know what you're going to get from them. We don't know that.
We don't got to worry about that because this series is ending in 4, whether it's the Braves or the Phillies. I don't think this series goes 5.
Joseph Orosky, got to take.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree with you. I put my selections out on Facebook this morning. So if you happen to notice my selections,
I did as well. Got to take into account the possible hangover for these division winners having a week off from live action.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, but
I think it's interesting.
The relief pitchers, the relief pitchers will be well rested, and that.
Look, you have the Dodgers are veterans, the Astros are veterans, and the Yankees are veterans. I don't think that they'll be rusty. The Braves, they're a bunch of young bucks. So, we'll see if they can ramp it back up for Game 1 quick. I mean, they're the champs and everything, but this is a whole new format. I'd be much more confident at no hangover, like Joe is saying, from a veteran team like the other 3 we just mentioned. So we can put
the one guy that has not played well in the playoffs on the Braves, who was not on the Braves last year, was Olsen. He's always been very quiet in the playoffs. We'll see what happens this year.
I mean, it's not like he goes that much out. I guess he's been there enough.
He's been there 3 times with the A's. The A's always choked. That's why they finally ended up having to break up that team. That and being cheapskates, but,
All right, we got the Monday Night Football game getting set to kick off here. Brought to you by BetUSA, leading sports book in America for over 25 years. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere in the USA. Use the A2D promo code for 125% sign-up bonus. We got the Chiefs and the Raiders, big AFC West matchup. Then we'll get our baseball predictions. We're getting ready to kick the ball here on Monday Night Football. I like the Raiders here. They're getting 7.5, depending on where you look. I like the dog here.
I would agree. The Raiders always give the Chiefs trouble.
Yeah. Raiders also traditionally do well on Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
we'll see how this goes. We'll keep you updated on the game. But looking at the other series, me, Jimmy, and Evan have the Phillies advancing. Brad has the Braves advancing. Surprise, surprise. What about the other NL series, guys?
That should end pretty quickly.
You think? I picked the Dodgers in 4.
I don't know.
That's what I have.
When's the last time the Padres beat the Dodgers in any series? I feel like the Dodgers always have the Padres number.
Yeah, they've owned them.
So I got the Dodgers. I think the Padres will steal one, but I got the Dodgers in 4.
Yeah, I think they'll win the game Darvish pitches. That's the only game I see them winning.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's going to be – they got Clevenger in Game 1. That's Clevenger-Urias. Talk about a mismatch. I mean, Clevenger once great with the Indians.
Yeah, but he's not the same pitcher anymore.
And then they're going quick around, so it would be Darvish and Kershaw in Game 2. The Padres better bring their sticks in Game 1.
That's the only way they have a shot is if
they got to kind of get that one to have a chance.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the American League before we transition to football. We got the Astros and the Mariners. Brad, you're Mr. American League. What do you think about this one?
I would say the Astros in 4.
I had the exact same thing. I mean, talk about an emotional roller coaster for the Mariners. I mean, you come back 8-1. You bury
Houston's bullpen is a little bit better than Toronto's. I don't think that they would give up an 8-1 lead. I mean, look, Houston's playoff tested. They're a very good team. They got outstanding pitching. They're I could see the Mariners giving them a battle as far as not allowing Houston to score a lot of runs, but in the end, I think that Houston is a better team. Their pitching staff is deeper, their bullpen's deeper. Oh, the Mariners have an outstanding closer, but the Astros, I just think they've beaten them all season like a drum. I don't see anything changing in the playoffs.
I mean, Verlander's going in game 1. Seattle hasn't even announced a starter yet, according to ESPN. So I know Kirby pitched some innings. Kirby closed the game out in game 2. Castillo pitched. Who pitched game 1? I mean, it should be Castillo, right?
Castillo pitched game 1.
Yeah. So he'll probably pitch game 2.
You would think so.
Ev, who do you got for that series?
Oh man, I don't think they have a chance. I really don't. I don't see Astros not winning that. I just can't. I just think they have too many guys that have been in that situation before, and then, I mean, Julio Rodriguez and all those guys up in Seattle can't. Nah, their pitching isn't up with Houston's.
Is there a scenario where I hope the Mariners win, obviously, but is there any kind of scenario that you think Houston could lose this series? I've been trying to think of how they could possibly lose. I mean,
I think
Seattle's good and they're hot, so like.
I think if the series goes to 5, I think Houston could be in trouble, and I think there is a chance that this series could go 5 if Seattle wins both of their home games.
Seattle, as good as Rodriguez is, and as good as Ty France is, the bottom line is I think they only hit like 228 as a team this year. They're really not. They're really not a very good offensive baseball team. To be honest with you, their pitching kind of has carried them, and they really got smacked around this year by Houston. So I'm not sure exactly what the one-loss total against Houston between Houston and Seattle was, but it seemed like I can't remember Seattle winning very many games against Houston. It seemed like Houston was beating them pretty regularly this year. I mean, I'm sure if we look it up, my best guess would be probably maybe 13-6 for Houston. That's a guess, of course. I'm not. I'm not 100% sure about that.
I mean, the Mariners do have the hottest, you could say, in the playoffs as far as it goes against the Blue Jays, who have a decent pitching.
The Blue Jays have good starting pitching. They got beat. Shame on them for their bullpen being that bad.
They scored the runs. The Mariners scored the runs. So I mean,
yes, they did.
If it goes 5.
Yeah, they beat up Romano too, who is their best reliever. The only thing I disagreed with, I think when Toronto got the 9-5 lead, I don't care. I would have gone with Romano in the 8th and 9th inning. I wouldn't have put in Bass. I thought that was a big mistake for them to do that because once you got a game locked in, you've got to make sure that you win that game with your best pitcher, and then worry about the next game the next day. You can't fool around. Just like I thought Buck Showalter left Bassett in way too long yesterday. Same thing. When it comes to games like that, really big games, if the pitcher's struggling, you got to get him out. You can't play games.
Especially
in the playoffs. In the playoffs, everybody has good pitching in the playoffs. Okay, you don't get to the ALDS or the NLDS without pitching. If your pitcher messes up and gives up and starts giving up runs, you got to get him out. You can't wait for them to find their stuff because you may not be able to catch up.
All right, last series, Cleveland, Yankees. I think it's a total. The two teams from the opposite end of the spectrum. These teams couldn't be more different. The Yankees, they play long ball. They got the big payroll. The Indians play small ball. They have speed and athleticism and a bunch of defense.
And they have one hell of a hitter in Jose Ramirez.
I mean, okay, Stephen Kwan has been just as hot as anyone over the last month and a half. Josh Naylor and Oscar Gonzalez are up-and-coming stars. Andres Jimenez, it might be my favorite non-Philly in the entire league. Talk about a guy who can do everything. And Ahmed Rosario, a tremendous shortstop. So that trade with the Mets for Lindor, the Indians actually won by a mile because, A, they're still playing, and they got multiple pieces that are playing roles on this team right now. And the Indians, I know the Yankees have Cole and Cortez at the top, but the Indians' bullpen is really good. Great. The Indian starters are really good. Tristan McKenzie's really good. Bieber's really good. They're going to have tough guys. I mean, they're going to have to hit off Cole in game one with Quantrill on the mound. It's obviously not ideal, but, you go 15 innings in game two against the Rays, you're going to be used up. But, I mean, I'm going with the upset here. I'm picking the Indians in 5. I'm a fan of Francona. I'm a fan of how the Indians play. I'm a fan of how they're constructed. And I think Aaron Boone is a loser idiot. And I think he's going to blow it for him.
And they got Matt Carpenter coming back as well. So.
Oh, excuse me. Let me change my prediction. I parlayed all these too. I parlayed Houston in 4, Phillies in 4, Dodgers in 4, and Indians in 5. $10 to win $7,000.
Oh my gosh!
So let's go.
I mean, I agree with Brad. I'm sorry, I agree with Rob. The Indians have a better manager and they have a better bullpen, and that's what wins playoff series. When you're managing and press all the right buttons and you have great pitching, that is the recipe to success when it comes to postseason baseball. And I've just seen this story year in and year out when it comes to this New York Yankees team. They have a strikingly similar core to the one that they've had in the most recent seasons. And I'm all in on the Indians. I think it's a great bet. I'm not going to predict the exact what game they're going to win, but I would go Indians outright the Guardians outright to win the series.
Brad, what's up with Aroldis Chapman? Not on the roster?
He's not on the roster.
He stinks.
So he missed. He doesn't stink, by the way.
Oh,
I think that's a mistake. So apparently, is what I read is he missed a workout on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he missed a workout. But bottom line is,
basically he just missed a workout. He no-called, no-showed a workout.
Right.
And the Yankees just left him off the roster.
The Yankees said, "Screw you," and you know what? They were right. First of all, Aroldis Chapman has been god awful this year. He can't throw strikes. I mean, every time he comes into a game, he walks the bases loaded and he walks in runs. I mean, you can't have that in the playoffs, especially when the guys have to pitch to 3 batters. You can't have that. I wouldn't have had him on the roster anyway, to be quite honest with you. I mean, if they were just looking for an excuse to not put him on the roster, I guess they found one. But most Yankee fans were in the same corner I was about Chapman. We didn't want him on the playoff roster. I mean, I think we're fine with Holmes and Wandy Peralta, and what's the guy's name on the Cubs? I keep forgetting that guy's name that they got from the Cubs. His name escapes me. Huh?
Who?
The relief pitcher they got from the Cubs.
Oh, the pitcher. Okay.
The relief pitcher they got from the Cubs. He was pretty good
Yankees?
too. Yeah.
Who'd they get? I'm trying to bring up their roster right now.
I'm trying to remember the name. He's been really good. He's been closing games too. When Holmes was out the last week of the season.
All right, this is a prediction of the roster based on Sports Illustrated. Still list the names. Trying to get to the pictures here.
Scott.
Who's getting the ball in the ninth?
Scott Efros. Yeah.
Who is that?
Scott Efros is a sidearm right-handed pitcher who everybody can't seem to hit.
All right, so you got Loizaga, Trevino, Tyon, Clark Schmidt, Herman, Ludic, whatever you say his name, Lucas Ludic.
Lucas Lukey.
Lukey, okay.
You guys still got
Clay Holmes
Miguel
and
Castro?
Wandy Peralta.
You guys still got Miguel Castro?
And then Efros.
Yes, they have Miguel Castro. I'm kind of hoping he's not on the roster, but
bye, Evan.
Miguel Castro. He's predicted to be off by. I don't know if they had to finalize it yet. I assume they did.
Yeah,
I
would hope.
Prediction.
I would hope that he's off. That he's off the roster. I'm not a big fan.
I don't know, but if I'm Francona, I'm looking at the Yankees. I'm walking Judge every time. I'm making other people beat us, and I trust my pitchers.
Toronto did that, and it didn't work out.
Okay, well, the pitching on Cleveland is way better than Toronto.
I'm sorry. Did you guys just see that stat?
They have two good starters on their team, Cleveland.
Did you guys? I'm sorry to change the topic real quick. No, the sack on Mahomes right there. That was the softest play I've ever seen in NFL history.
Yeah, it was.
That was horrible. Tackle the guy. He wrapped him up.
You can't tackle anybody. You can't because they're so
we
scared
saw
of
Tom Brady
now.
That was ridiculous.
That was so bad. That was real. That actually made me angry.
It's going to be flag football for the quarterback soon. Probably by week 8. It's going to be flag football. You just go up there, you pull the flag, and that's going to be that.
It's getting
because
the
stupid Dolphins can't follow the concussion rules. It got too all fucked up and hurt and are just a crumb organization. Now the product's going to get even worse than it already is.
They're going to make another CTE movie.
Another concussion movie with Will Smith and Albert Brooks.
Anyway, guys, back to the Indians. Okay, they have 2 starting pitchers that are good. The rest of them are not. Based on the season series when the Yankees played them, they were either 5-1 or 6-1. I don't remember if they played them 6 times or 5 times. I know the only game they lost was a game to McKenzie, and McKenzie was absolutely brilliant that game. Bieber has always been whacked around by the Yankees. That's something that, for whatever reason, when he pitches against the Yankees, he can't throw strikes. He nibbles too much. If Bieber's going to be effective against the Yankees, he's going to have to stop doing that, and he's going to have to throw strikes and be aggressive. Because if he starts walking guys, he's going to get the Indians will get. The Guardians will get killed if they start walking guys. And by the way, Jimmy, you're not correct about the Yankees. They're a different team than they've been in the past. Okay, their starting pitching this year has been outstanding. Their relief pitching has been a little shaky. Agreed. As far as them relying totally on home runs, they've got some guys who can actually hit and make contact with the baseball. So that's that. They changed their lineup somewhat so that they have that. I'd like to see what the batting order is going to be honest with you. But they have that right now. Right now, it looks like it's probably going to be the same order it's been for the last 6 weeks. I'm assuming they'll probably have Judge leading off and Stanton batting second, Torres batting third, and Rizzo batting fourth. Or if you want to flip flop them, But those are going to be your first 4. I'm assuming Donaldson bats fifth. I'm trying to remember who their lineup's going to be. Probably Bader would be seventh. No, Bader would be 8th, and the catcher would be 9th. The question is who's 6th and 7th. I'm thinking Cabrera will be batting 6th, and who am I missing? Kiner Falefa will bat 7th.
Well, here's the thing though, that's what I'm talking about, where managers can lose you baseball games, and if there's any manager left in the postseason right now, that's Aaron Boone. I don't
like Aaron Boone either. I've said it a million times. I think
his inconsistency with the lineup it should be scary for you, and that's why I think it's going to be a series. I'm very interested to watch this series. This is probably the second series that I'm most interested in watching behind
Well,
the Phillies and Braves.
the Guardians batting order, the Guardians bats don't scare me. Other than Jose Ramirez, to be honest with you, they're not a good offensive team. I mean, they're just not. I mean, they scored what? They scored 3 runs in 24 innings against Tampa Bay. I mean, I know they won the series and they shut them out the entire series, but Tampa Bay is not a great offensive team either. I mean, if you're comparing them to the Yankees, they're just not. So I mean, it's quite a difference for the Yankees. Kind of own that division, that Central Division, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They've rocked that division all year, so including the Cleveland Guardians. So I look for more of the same. I think the Guardians will lose the first 2 games. I think they win game 3. I think Tristan McKenzie in Cleveland will rock the house. But win that game, and then they're going to have to go to their fourth pitcher. And I think the Yankees will destroy their 4th pitcher. I think they're going to kill Cal Quantrill as well, and it'll end in 4. But I'll give the Guardians a game. I think that they deserve that kind of respect. I mean, I don't think they wins.
Evan, who do you got?
I think I got Yankees in 4. I just say I don't know. The Guardians they're a small franchise, and I went to one of the games when I was in Ohio. It was pretty fun, but that's irrelevant. But yeah, I can't really see my way of them beating the Yankees. Maybe if the Yankees just go full out like New York style and just fall off the face of the earth, but I can't see it where the Guardians beat the Yankees. I just can't.
Yeah, I hear you.
Unless like they're never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
No, if the bats go cold and all they do is strike out.
Yeah. I mean,
It's gonna be tough.
I can see them doing what the Mets did.
Who, the Yankees?
I can see us doing it too. Like it's really that's why
that could happen to any team though. I mean, it does all the time. That's
these big payroll.
I mean, you just don't know. But as far as walking Judge every time up, I mean, the Yankees could do that with Ramirez too. But what's it going to do? You're putting a guy on base, and if you keep doing that, they're going to score. It doesn't happen.
How do you not cover that guy on 4th and 1?
Nice defense by Kansas City.
What are they doing? 4th and 1, they throw a bomb. 17, that's Devontae Adams still, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? You don't cover
love that
him.
Call.
Going to make me come back in fantasy against Jimmy.
You don't cover him? I love the call, by the way.
That's
a bomb.
Great call.
He just runs right past him, and there's no safety. That's pretty much as easy as it gets in the NFL. Speaking of the NFL, let's transition to the NFL.
There's one leg complete of my parlay tonight. There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
Devontae Adams first touchdown or
anytime. Travis Kelce, anytime. Chiefs win the game.
I like that bet. That is a good bet.
That's a good bet.
Good bet. I'm getting 7.5, and I'm up 7-0, so I like that a lot. But anyway, Eagles go out to the desert. Ugly. Wasn't easy. Wasn't their best football game at all, but they get the win over just an inferior Arizona Cardinals team. 5-0.
Kyler Murray stinks out loud.
He's not
really
very
bad.
good.
He's really bad.
Remember this time last year?
Game? He's like in La La Land. He slides short of the first down. Then he spikes it on 3rd down, and it makes their backup kicker have to kick a 43-yard field goal, which he didn't make.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Did
you really think he was going to make that kick, though?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, I didn't think so either. I was like,
apparently it got blocked.
Yeah.
Even if there was a touch, that would have pushed.
With a fingernail, overgrown fingernail of Milton Williams.
It's like the double doink too. Apparently that was touched, but it still would have double doinked.
The guy missed the 43-yard field. You missed it. It's cool. Who said they blocked it? The Eagles or the Cardinals said it got blocked?
No, it was all over social media saying that Milton Williams.
The guy had a hand. had a fingertip on it, which really didn't.
Well, the trajectory of the ball didn't change, which means you just
not
suck
even a little bit.
It was going straight and then just
pretty much.
You shanked the kick.
That was just Eagles fans.
Either that or he kicked the laces. It's one or the other. But he barely made that one field goal. Remember when they were stopped at the 5-yard line, the Cardinals, and they kicked the field goal to make it 14-10? He barely made that field goal. So what would make you think he's going to kick a 43-yarder at the end of the game with the pressure on?
That was really bad.
Did you see him in warm-ups? He missed every kick.
Yeah, I honestly they showed it right before he was about to take it. He missed.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up by Fox to do that to him, because it makes it that much funnier. But if I'm Kingsbury in that situation, I'm putting the ball in my player's best hands. The guy that you just paid $200+ million to, I'm putting the ball in his hands to make a play on the outside and get closer for your kicker. Like it's
so you're going for it on 4th down,
dude. The kicker hasn't made a kick all day.
I hear you. I would have went for it too. I agree with you.
Brad just said it. He barely made one that was on the 5.
What was that? Like a 20-yard field goal?
Monday night. Monday night open.
That ball just barely made it through. Yeah, you see that. Listen, the Eagles did what they had to do. The bottom line is it doesn't have to be pretty. You win, you win. Yeah.
And it's on the road, too.
That's all you need to do. You win, and then you move on to next week. And that was and give them credit because, that could have been a trap game for them because they got a big game this Monday night.
Oh, yeah.
Against the Cowboys, and they could have definitely been looking ahead to that game.
It was a great win.
Yeah, that's a good. It's tough to win those kind of games. It's not easy to win those kind of games.
I mean, does anything concern you about the Eagles going forward? Obviously, it wasn't the prettiest game. Like I'm like, you win, you're good. You'll figure it out, or you won't figure it out, and you'll have to lose.
I feel like it's different.
A game down the road, and then figure.
Well,
it out.
I think now you're going to find out. You're going to find out now what the deal is because now they're playing the Cowboys. The Cowboys right now, as far as I'm concerned, and from what I've seen of the NFC, I think the Cowboys and the Eagles are the two best teams in the NFL and the NFC right now. I don't think you can argue that. They both have had impressive wins. It's going to be a good game. Cowboys defense this year has been outstanding.
Has been menacing. Yeah, so I got 5 teams. The NFC, I see 5 teams that have emerged as a chance, like the Vikings, the Niners, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Bucks are kind of my 5 in the NFC. Whatever order you want to rank them in. I don't really care at this point. It's all going to work itself out. But 2 of them are playing this Sunday night.
The Rams look like they're in deep trouble. I mean,
the Rams,
like I said in the beginning,
that whole NFC West.
If you don't have an offensive line, you're not a good team.
They are
playing.
They're old. They've aged overnight.
I tried telling us this before week 1. Just saying.
Thank God we didn't trade for Russell.
By the way, you were wrong about the Lions. Time to understand.
I did that last week.
I mean, Bill Belichick is still Bill Belichick.
On that last week. I'm not eating crow 2 weeks in a row.
Bill Belichick really showed us that he played against Jared Goff yesterday.
At this point now, you look ahead to the Cowboys because this is the game. This is the game you're going to find out just how good you are. Because these two teams know each other. They can't stand each other. They're going to be as nasty as they possibly can to each other. They will be completely disrespectful to each other, and you will get the best effort from both teams. We'll see what happens.
This is a benchmark. This is a measuring stick for Jalen Hurts.
It's a measuring stick for both.
Everybody wants to be all Jalen Hurts up, and he's this and he's that, and he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay. I'll tell you what, if he wins this game in style on Sunday night, I'll hand him a blank check. How about that? If he plays a flawless football game and plays like a franchise quarterback,
you got to give him a little. You got to give him a little.
I'll give him a blank check.
Come on, Jalen.
If they put up 30 points against the Cowboys, then you give him a blank check. I don't know about. Correct. I don't know about whether he plays good or bad. The Cowboys have a good defense. I mean, they're not
just
top 5 defense.
You're not going to just run over them. That team defensively is really.
Because I'm teetering with the Jalen Jitney. Like I want to buy the full weekend pass and
I'm on it.
Party up and ride the jitney all the way to freaking Miami or Detroit, wherever the heck the Super Bowl is this year. I tell you what, I'll be a season ticket member on the Jalen Jitney if the Eagles score 30 points and the Eagles win the football game on Sunday.
Well, yeah, yesterday, I'm with you. I'm with you, Rob. Yesterday on the Rant Booth, all campus, John Coyle runs an excellent business down there, Ocean City Boardwalk, 10th Street. So make sure you check him out. Subscribe to the channel. Get 20% off of everything in the store, including hats and shirts. So make sure you make your way down to Ocean City, New Jersey, one of these weekends. Yesterday was a beautiful day. Hopefully it stays beautiful these weekends. But me and John yesterday on the show, our poll question was, is Jalen Hurts the league MVP right now? And him and I, this was before the Arizona game, and I still think Jalen had a good game yesterday. I would maybe say it was probably his worst out of the 5 or 4 so far. 5? What are we, 5-0? Yeah. Worst out of the 5 so far. But him and I both said agree. I still think he is the MVP. Right now, I think it's a 3-man race between him, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen's right there on the outside. I mean,
if I have a vote right now, I'm voting for Saquon Barkley.
Saquon, yeah.
Nah, before Jalen
Why?
Hurts.
Because he's not a quarterback?
Before Jalen Hurts.
Look, the Giants are not good.
Giants are 4-1 because of Saquon.
I know, but
he's the only reason.
Giants are 4-1 right now with no receivers, a quarterback who's limited, a pretty average offensive line, at least stature and pedigree wise, and a defense that going into the season, everyone admitted, even Brad, needed a ton of work still. And they're 4-1. And it's all because of Saquon Barkley. So if I had an MVP vote right now,
and the defense has been shockingly good.
They're fundamentally sound and they make tackles and they don't make a lot of mistakes. The Giants defense.
All right, let's say it's a quarterback's award then. Who has been the best quarterback in the league so far this year?
Mahomes.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Okay. I mean, Mahomes and Lamar and Jalen and Josh Allen are there, but I'm taking Jalen right now through 5. He's the only undefeated team in football.
The game that Josh Allen played yesterday in the first half was ridiculous.
The Steelers stink out loud, though.
Yeah, I know, but did you see that one pass?
They did what they scored. They didn't beat him 13-10. They beat him 38-0.
That one pass to Gabe Davis was unbelievable.
Beautiful.
And
the first one or the second one?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
The second one was
almost impossible.
And Gabe Davis
Fitzpatrick
holding on
had good
to
coverage. Fitzpatrick had good coverage on him too.
Gabe Davis is a strong man.
He's a good receiver. I mean, he was great last year, but you didn't really get to see. He's so overshadowed by Diggs. That guy is really good.
What's up, Sweeps?
Sweeps is in the house. Sweeps and Chrome.
They had a great show yesterday.
Rough weekend for them. I love them both, though. Cardinals, they're not an
quarterbacks.
enemy.
It's those 3, and you can throw in Barkley right now. I think that would be fair.
I took Saquon Barkley for MVP online. $10 to win $1,500. I don't understand how he can't be at least in the mix, at least in the conversation.
He's got to be in the conversation.
Ryan Swope says, I still won't give him a check just yet. Well, in my heart, I want to, but I personally have to wait and not give it. I have to see it in the playoffs. I trust we can, but I just have to see it. In my heart, I want to pay him, but we are all over the players and teams' bandwagons again. When something goes great, then suddenly it'll be the opposite if one thing goes bad.
Always the bandwagon bullshit with Swoop, and I love you, Swoop, but always the bandwagon. Every fan is a bandwagon fan. When things are going good, you're more likely to rah it, spend your money, go to the game, and tell the world about your fandom. If it's not, it's kind of oh yeah, the Eagles are on, the Phillies are on. That's human nature. That's the way it goes. Am I supposed to go to the game with spend all my money on Philly stuff when they're 51 and 100? No.
$50 parking.
Bandwagon stuff.
Tom. How many rushing touchdowns does Jalen Hurts have this year?
Tom Hederick, he just doesn't like Jalen.
He's a hater. That's haterade right there. Come on, dude. Are we winning these games?
Jimmy, you're on that haterade too last year when you're saying, "Oh, Jalen Hurts
Because he wasn't throwing the football the way he's throwing the football
back.
this year.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Because he wasn't throwing the football last year. This year he is throwing the football.
All right, I'm glad he is.
That's why I'm on the Jalen.
I'm glad he is.
Rob Brinkman.
I'm glad.
I'm driving that.
We gotta get shirts made or something.
I am driving that, Jitney.
I'm telling you. And first, it's a moot point. Everyone realizes, right, that we cannot extend Jalen Hurts until after this football season.
Yeah.
So it's a moot point. We can talk about paying him and the Howie discounts. We can't pay him until after the season. Period. That's the rules.
That's a good thing, right?
I think that's a good thing as well. So we can forces us to get a bigger sample size. But 30 points and a victory on Sunday night in prime time, he can be the quarterback forever.
In a way, I do hear Ryan because I would like to see him win a playoff game before we pay him. But he's playing at an unbelievable rate right now. I mean, he is.
You do have to be careful. You do have to be careful, though. I mean, listen, Carson Wentz was spectacular in his first 2 years.
And paying him was the right move too. He's just
you got him cheaper. I mean, right now Carson Wentz is still in the middle of that deal, and right now I think he's only the 10th highest paid quarterback annual salary right now.
And he stinks.
Yeah,
Did you see his pick yesterday at the end?
At the 2-yard line.
He's complete trash.
Yeah, I mean, Joe says he feels for Carson, and
no good.
I do.
Why would you feel? Why would you feel for Carson?
I don't know.
On what planet? I was the biggest Carson Wentz guy on the panel.
No,
maybe at the whole platform of A2D.
I think that's more. I think it's more what the coach said.
He stinks.
But he got sacked.
Your coach can't say that.
That offensive line.
Why?
God awful.
Your coach can't say that.
He was running into the sacks.
Truth.
He was running into the sacks, to be fair. But some of the sacks were just
goal line yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. He should have scored it. That should have been a touchdown all day.
He just throws it right to the Titans.
That is his fault.
What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? That's terrible football. Carson Wentz is trash. Carson Wentz is a loser. I have no problem with his coach calling him the carpet because his coach is 100% right. They're 1-4 because Carson Wentz stinks. Period. That's what it is. And I don't feel bad for Carson Wentz. I'll never feel bad for Carson Wentz.
You think they're going to be screaming for Heineke again?
I think you're getting to that point, and I think Ron Rivera. I mean, Matt Rule got fired today for the Carolina Panthers. I think we all predicted that last week that he was going to be the first to go. But I think Ronnie Rivera, especially with the way things are going down there in Washington and how the rest of the NFC East is good, and they're the only one that stinks. And I think Ronnie Rivera, I think his seat's a little warm. I think Dan Campbell's seat's way warm, and I think that's it. As far as
I think one coach you got to give a lot of credit to is Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
I mean, he hasn't played. What happened in that game? Who won that game?
It lost 39-32.
Taysom Hill had 35 points on my bench, and now I am 0-5.
So the Saints won.
Yes.
Okay.
But Seattle has been pretty competitive all season.
Look at Arthur Smith too on Atlanta.
All they do is cover.
I didn't bet him. I bet the Bucs yesterday. I thought it was going to run out. I fucking lost because the referee, Jerome Booger, decided to call a 15-yard penalty for tackling.
That was such a bad call. I think
it was terrible.
That's as bad as the Vikings-Saints pass interference call, I think. I know that one was a playoff game, but this one was really bad.
That was
I think the Vikings. Look at that. Look at that
how are
kicker.
You supposed to tackle him?
I mean, if you're going to get a penalty either way, why don't you just slam it like German suplex him Brock Lesnar style into the turf? If you're getting 15 yards either way, what's the difference?
You mean like what Green Bay did to Jones yesterday?
You want to keep all his money.
Yeah, Green Bay did that to Jones yesterday. And they got 15 yards for body slamming him.
I know the brothers that run around and make plays, they don't get the same courtesies as the old white men either in the NFL. Is kind of what I noticed. Jalen gets hit all the time. Lamar Jackson gets hit all the time. Daniel Jones, who he ain't a brother, but he runs around a lot. He runs around all the time and gets suplexed into the ground all the time, and then Brady gets touched and
I may write a letter to the NFL if I see another non-call when Jalen gives himself
sure they're
up.
Going to change their whole product
and 4 people jump on him after he gives himself up. It happens every single time, and he never gets the call, ever. I'm gonna write a letter.
The running quarterbacks, they play with different rules than Brady and Aaron Rodgers, and I mean even Mahomes.
Yeah. No, Mahomes seems to take a lot of hits that they don't call penalties on. I've noticed that.
Yeah, that's my point.
They kind of push the yeah. I think you're right about that because Mahomes takes way too many shots. I mean, as much as I love Josh Allen, I mean, you touch him, you touch him if he's not running the football, if he's back throwing, you touch him, you're going to get a penalty too.
You're destroyed. You're kicked out of the league.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, when he's running the ball and putting his head down and running you over, that's different.
Yeah, you better sack up because he's a grown man and he'll flatten.
He weighs 240 pounds and can fly. I mean,
So where do we think the Eagles rank in the power rankings?
I put them number 3
NFL.
right now.
You have number 3. So what do you have? Buffalo and Kansas City ahead of them?
Yes, and you can put Buffalo and Kansas City either order.
We'll get a better.
We'll get a better. We'll better get a better look between Buffalo and Kansas City next week. Buffalo is going to
Jacksonville lost yesterday, right?
Jacksonville stinks. How do you lose to the Texans? Oh my god!
If you're going to do what I predicted them to do, and that's go to the playoffs, you can't lose to the Texans. I believe that game was in Jacksonville as well.
Yep.
So I mean that can't happen.
I don't care if it's in Mars. There's no way they should lose to this.
Because
come on.
I got the Eagles
lost to Miami, but Buffalo beat. But then the Rams win doesn't look. I don't know. I just watched the Bills play, and I think that I give them a slight edge over the Eagles.
Yeah, I got the Eagles too. I really want to have them 1, but I just think.
So you have them over the Chiefs.
I have Chiefs 1, Eagles 2, Bills 3, Ravens 4, and I don't know. I think I really like the 49ers.
You sure about the Ravens? They've been a little shaky.
They had They had a good win last night.
Yeah, but they blew that. They also almost blew it too. I mean,
yeah, I still think they're going to win the AFC North, and I think the AFC North is a tough division to win. It's always tough. Even the worst team is always going to play you tough.
The Giants get them next week, so we'll see about how
the AFC is. The AFC, like we said, it's going to be tough and competitive. It's just the teams that we thought were going to be competitive with each other. Some of them are a little different.
And this is a must-win for the Raiders, I think. I mean, 2-3 looks a lot better than 1-4.
1-4, that's going to be tough. But how about the Jets? How about both New York teams?
Yeah, the Jets.
Jets 3-2, Giants 4-1.
I can't believe the Jets scored 40 points yesterday.
Well, I think Teddy Two Gloves came out of the game, didn't
he? Yeah, he got hurt early.
Yeah, he got hurt in the first quarter.
Who was the quarterback?
That guy, he did a good job with that third-string quarterback. Making a game plan.
He played okay.
They still got Tyreek Hill in the mix.
The Jets just ran the ball right down their throats. I mean,
Breece Hall's really good, and Michael Carter's really good, and Garrett Wilson's really good, and I think Elijah Moore's really good. So you got a great core of young skill players for Josh Allen. And that guy,
Zach Wilson.
Sauce Gardner, yeah, he's the quarterback. We'll see about him, but he's got
You called him Josh Allen.
No, well, no. I said Sauce Gardner, the cornerback, is a home run pick.
Yeah, no. Sauce
Gardner. He looks like a good player. He's a good
I thought you just said.
I thought you said Josh Allen.
Yeah, you definitely said those position players for Zach.
Yeah, you just called it Josh Allen. We know who you meant.
Zach Wilson is the quarterback of the Jets. Josh Allen is the quarterback of the Bills.
Yeah,
but I don't know how good Zach Wilson is yet. But I do think that the players I just named around him are good. And then the Giants, I mean, Brian Dable, Coach of the Year, Saquon Barkley, MVP.
Giants are playing very gritty right now. They're a very
Sirianni's-
gritty team right now.
Sirianni is
If
coach
the
of the year to
Giants
lose
if the
right
Giants
now.
make the playoffs, or even, I mean, they're a game back of the division, so a division championship not out of the realm of possibilities either here. I've seen
Well,
way stranger things happen.
if the Eagles beat the Cowboys, the Giants are actually a full game ahead of the Cowboys, and then if they by some miracle beat the Ravens, they would be 5-1, and the Cowboys would be 4-2.
I mean, how could you not dabble Saquon Barkley? I mean, Giants everything. If the Giants somehow make the playoffs, let alone win the East.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, you've been saying a lot of things aren't going to
below.
happen. You've been saying a lot of things are not going to happen with the Giants, but guess what? We're through 5 weeks.
Yeah,
and they're
no, I
4-1.
know. I listen. I'm thrilled that they're playing such great football right now. It's just, I mean, look, I did tell you one thing about Jones, though. He's got some ability and he's got a very strong arm. You know, I just wish they had some better players around him. I think the guy could really be a good quarterback if he had.
Why don't you sign back Odell Beckham Jr.?
Because he's
Apparently
hurt.
it's a
What's the
bidding
point?
war.
He'll be
We're looking at
healthy.
DJ Moore. That's who they're looking at now. The Giants.
For trade?
Well,
Yeah.
That's
we'll
DJ
see.
Moore's a good player.
We'll see who they try to get. I mean, I do think that if they're, you know, if they continue to play really, when's the trade deadline, by the way? Is it next week or in 2 weeks?
I think it's after week 7.
Week 7. So
It's the 1st of November.
So if they're by some
Week 8.
if they're say 5-3, I would make a trade and try to get a receiver.
Well, you should try and
Yeah, if
trade
there's any-
anyway.
Yeah, they should try to get a receiver.
Because you need to make a choice about your quarterback.
I mean, I think the quarterback has been pretty good this year, to be honest with you. I know maybe he's not putting up big stats, but you know what? He's not making mistakes. He's throwing some nice passes. Yesterday he threw some real nice passes to that tight end. I think he's done what he's had to do. And he, you know, with the injury to his ankle, he's still going out there and running the ball and playing tough football. And you know he's hurt. You know, you can
Brad,
see
is he a franchise quarterback though? Do you see it's his last year, right? On his contract?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do
Yes.
you see? What do you see happening? Like, I don't know.
I gotta see more, but you know what? Look, if the Giants, by some miracle, do happen to make the playoffs with him as quarterback, you know, do I give him a long-term contract? No, I give him. I would franchise. I would try to get him to be a franchise. No, you can't really
Franchise,
do that
yeah,
because then it's going to cost too much money. But
maybe just
I mean,
a 1 year deal.
you try to figure something out.
Another prover deal year. I don't know. Because I have a lot of Giant friends, and they're all saying they don't think that Danny Jones is going to work out just because, like, I don't know.
A lot of people are throw him under the bus, and I think that he has gotten a pretty bad. Am I crazy about him? No, but then again, when has he really had a fair chance to go out there and play? I mean, now he's finally got Barkley, and you know, he seems to be a better player just because of Barkley.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, give him some receivers and a half decent offensive line. I'm not saying he's going to be Allen or he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. No, I don't think he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. But you know, how do you get a top quarterback to get a top quarterback in the league? You know, I mean, they're not just out there for you to get.
Yep.
I mean, who would you like them to get? You want them to
Would you
tank
see
and try
them
to get
drafting somebody, or
Huh?
like drafting somebody or starting new?
Yeah, but if they're gonna have a good season, they're not gonna get a top draft pick unless they start trading, you know, and being very creative and go all
Geno
in. They're
Smith
gonna
looks
have to
really
do
good.
what
Yeah.
the only way they could get a top quarterback is if they do what Buffalo did with Josh Allen. and that just start trading first-round picks,
Mortgage your future.
And continue to move up and up and up and up and up and go all in on one particular quarterback and try to draft him. I mean, that's really the only way they can do it.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of. I mean, Buffalo went and they started out at number 22. When they wanted to draft Josh Allen, and they kept trading and trading and trading, and they finally got to trade all the way up to number 7, and they picked Josh Allen, and that's called going all in. That's exactly what they did with Josh Allen. I mean, the Giants are gonna if the Giants see somebody and identify a quarterback that they want that badly, that's kind of what they're gonna have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I don't know what other choice you have. I mean, it's not like they're going to go out and get some great quarterback. Nobody trades quarterbacks to the NFL unless they're old or whatever. You know, it's what happened this past offseason is rare. You can't expect that to continue to happen. You know, I mean, what quarterback do you see out there that could get traded? That's a good quarterback. I mean, sorry, I'm not sold on Garoppolo. I don't think Garoppolo was all that much better than Jones.
Gardner Minshew.
Geno Smith.
No, I don't want him.
I mean, there's a pretty big list of quarterbacks that are going on the market next season.
Yeah, but who?
But they're not really that great. That's the only thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, are they worth an upgrade over? Are they that big of an upgrade that you get rid of Jones?
It depends.
You know, I mean, I mean, it's not so easy to get a franchise quarterback. They're not, you know, is Dallas going to trade Dak Prescott to the Giants? I kind of doubt it. If they did trade Dak Prescott, they sure as hell aren't going to be trading him to the Giants. Huh?
Maybe
they're not going to trade
Cooper Rush.
Or if Jimmy G doesn't get re-signed, I can see the Giants getting Jimmy G.
All right, let's do early leads before we get out of here. Early look at week now 6 in the NFL. Crazy. Bye weeks are starting next week. So, fantasy guys, make sure you do your waiver claims. Make sure you get your lineup set. We got another snoozer on Thursday Night Football. I think that was the worst game I've ever watched in the history of games last Thursday. But this one might be worse. It's going to be the Commanders going to take on the Bears in Chicago.
Is Carson actually going to lose to Justin
What's
Fields?
the over under 30?
38.
That's a low.
I don't know.
It's a dreadful game. I'm not betting any money on this game at all.
Where is the game being played?
It's in Chicago.
The Bears will win.
The Bears are favored by 1.
The Bears will win.
I'll take the Bears, and then Ron Rivera gets fired. Getting to Sunday, Niners heading to Atlanta. Cover machine, Atlanta, 5-0 against the spread. They're getting 5.5 at home against the Niners.
I'd take the 5.5.
They're good. Atlanta's good.
I would take the 5.5. They hang in there.
City's losing now. The Raiders just scored another touchdown. It's 14-0.
14-0 Raiders on Monday Night Football.
The Raiders.
Okay,
7. I feel pretty good about
it.
it.
Eagles second, Bills first. That's what I'm.
The Raiders always seem to give the Chiefs fits. It's amazing. Last few years.
Bengals visiting New Orleans. This is a weird line. Bengals are favored by 1.5 in New Orleans. This is a weird game.
I'm taking Bengals. What?
I'm taking the Saints.
Saints at home.
Yeah, I'll take the Saints at home.
That might be
the Bengals record. What's the Bengals record?
2-3 because they lost last night.
Well, I want the Saints to lose. So
I think the Bengals bounce back here. I mean,
I hope so. I mean, I want the Saints to lose too. Obviously, we have their draft pick.
How long can these scrub quarterbacks win games for the Saints?
Well, Dalton is there now. One thing about Dalton, he is a veteran, and he's not going to make veteran mistakes. So that's a plus. I mean, he's not an idiot like Jameis Winston. He's not just going to just make stupid throws. They seem to play better. They seem to be playing better with Dalton. So again, Dalton, you're not talking You're not talking Johnny Unitas with Dalton, that's for sure.
All right, Tampa Bay visiting Pittsburgh.
Oh, boy.
Pittsburgh is at home. They are 8.5-point dogs.
Poor Kenny Pickett. Can you imagine having to go up against that defense in your second game?
And he went up against
after
the
having
Bills
to go up against Buffalo in your first game.
Yeah, this could get ugly for the Steelers quick.
Yeah,
I think the Steelers have a backdoor cover here. I
It's
just
not
think
bad. It's a lot of points at home.
the Bucks
Yeah,
just
it
don't
is.
look right. Until I see them step like I really thought they were going to blow out the Falcons yesterday.
Well, the Bucks have
Tom
a
Brady.
menacing defense.
Tom Brady, fresh off the divorce, I thought he was going to go off, and he still doesn't look right. I mean, it's not like these receivers are new for him.
His wife didn't do the witchcraft.
Godwin's just back though. I mean, he just got back from.
I mean, he still has Mike Evans. He still has Fournette. I mean, Cameron Brate's been there. Scotty Miller's been there with him.
Their
I
defense is still really, really good. And at this point, I mean, my problem with that cover, I know it's a lot of points, but they could shut Pittsburgh out.
I may wait till later on in the week, and if it closer to double digits, I'm definitely hammering Steelers.
And TJ Watt's how long's TJ Watt out for? Is he out for the season?
Who
He
knows?
said he's going to try and come back, but if they
They
stink,
might
I don't
as
see
well
how
just
they
not
risk
bring
it.
him back.
That guy's always a game time decision.
They really miss TJ Watt though. Their defense without him is horrendous.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they were playing Buffalo yesterday, but they were just destroyed in the first half.
The Jets head into Green Bay, head into Lambeau.
Packers alternate line, dude.
7.5-point favorites. The Packers are. I love the Jets. I love the Jets here.
Jets at Lambeau?
Yeah. Packers got problems. Jair Alexander's barking his mouth to the media. Aaron Rodgers is barking his mouth back at Jair Alexander through the media. The Packers, I don't know. Something's missing. Something's missing there in Green Bay.
Yeah, Adams.
I think it goes deeper than that, though. I mean, you're right. He's not there.
Well,
but
that's a lot. That's a lot, though. I mean,
I don't know. It seems like more than that. I'm taking the 7.5. Maybe the Packers squeak by. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
I'd go Packers alternate line -10. I think it's a blowout.
Blowout.
The only
So
problem
you think
with
the Packers are going to get back on track?
The Packers played New England, and with their third string with Zappy in there, and they just barely won that game.
Yeah, but if you look at all these games, they jump out to big leads, and then they just melt. Like I don't think they can.
Maybe their guys aren't in. Maybe their guys aren't in top shape.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe they got too many fat cats. I mean, look, I thought the Giants yesterday won the game because they wanted the game more.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what happened.
I mean, the Giants were playing like fiends. I didn't see the same intensity out of the Packers. Once they got it down to it was 14-10. Once they got it to 20-13. Once they got within a touchdown, the Giants weren't looking back. It's like they could smell it.
Yeah.
Give me the Jets winning that game, actually, because you know what? Sauce Gardner's having a great season. He's going to guard the only wide receiver they have on that whole team. And, I mean, the Jets limited Najee Harris last week as well. So they made him look like
Could you imagine the Green Bay fans if they started losing to the Jets?
And the Giants the previous week?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to talk about a delegation?
Speaking of the Giants, they're at home against the Ravens this week. Giants getting 5 at home.
I'll go field goal game. I'll give it to the Giants.
I'm taking them. I'll take the points.
I'll take the points.
Why not, right? Home
I
dog.
I
love my home dogs.
I mean,
Giants are disciplined on defense, and they don't commit penalties.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ravens are not going to score a ton of points against the Giants, so we'll see what happens. I just don't know what the Giants are. I mean, I hate to say this because it's a poke at my team, but Chris Collinsworth made a very good comment last night, and I thought it was very much to the point about the Ravens. They challenge your manhood. They really do. They're a tough physical team. I just don't know that the Giants can handle a team like that. The most physical team they played this year was the Cowboys, and they didn't handle it all that well. And I think they could be in for a tough afternoon against that team. I mean, I would love to see them. Listen, do the Ravens have receivers that the Giants can't cover? No, the Giants can cover all their receivers, and I think they can do a reasonably good job on Lamar, but that team runs the ball and runs the ball and runs the ball. I just don't know that they can last for 4 quarters against that team. They don't abandon the run quickly like Green Bay does. And look at the Raiders. The Raiders are just destroying
embarrassing
the
Chiefs on Monday Night Football right now. They just bullied them on that run. They could drive a truck through that hole.
Not looking good for the parlay.
Wow. I mean,
Mahomes, he can score in bunches. So your parlay, you just need a money line, right?
And
the money line.
The Raiders have been very good this year at blowing leads.
That is very true.
You remember the Cardinal game? Didn't they have a 20-3 lead in the fourth quarter against the Cardinals and blow that game?
It was a 20-point lead. Yep. And the Cardinals ended up winning.
It was 20-3 or 23-3. It was something ridiculous, and the Cardinals came back and beat them.
Yep, Raiders sweeps. Raiders hammering the Chiefs, and I hammered the Raiders. So, let's go.
And you have 7
points.
Early
leads.
looking good. 21-0 in the second quarter there, Rob. Outstanding.
It's Mahomes, though. We'll see.
Yeah, well,
all right, Patriots heading to Cleveland. Cleveland's standard 3-point favorite at home.
I take Cleveland.
New England +3, right? I mean, New England's physical.
I'll take New England +3.
Really physical.
Field goal game again.
I
think the Browns have been involved in just field goal games this year, haven't they? They've been in a lot of close games this year.
Yeah, I like this Bailey Zappi. I like him better than Mac Jones. I'm not a Mac Jones guy at all.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Mac Jones.
Nothing special about Mac Jones.
Not
that there's anything special about Bailey Zappi, but I don't know. It looks like more of a professional offense when Zappi's in there. Tua's situation, Ryan Swoop, the Dolphins are undecided about who they're going to start on Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. They play the Minnesota Vikings at home. Vikings are favored by 3. I mean, obviously, I'm not even gonna lean on this game until I know who's playing quarterback for Miami. If I had to guess, they're running Tua out there.
I think this game's a track meet, though. I mean, I like Tua, over the points, 45.5.
If Tua plays, I think the Dolphins win. But,
I mean, I don't see any track meets involving Skylar Thompson or whatever his name was. I don't think there's going to be any track meets there. The Vikings are good. Vikings are good defensively. Yeah, I like the Vikings here. I mean, they're the better team.
The Dolphins are pretty good, though. Don't underestimate them.
Jaguars are heading to Indianapolis. The vaunted Jaguars.
I bet you they wake up and win this game. That would be
who, the Colts?
Very typical. No, the Jaguars.
Colts are -2 at home.
Yeah, the
Jaguars, they beat them every other time.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars are going to win because they just seem to beat the Colts. I mean, they've had their number.
Yeah, give me the Colts. The Jaguars are coming back to earth.
I do think the Colts will win as well.
I think Arizona traveling to Seattle. Seattle's getting 2.5 at home. I kind of like the Seahawks here. Geno Smith's been good, and I haven't been impressed with the Cardinals at all.
You know what? They gave the Eagles a pretty good run for their money.
I think
Seattle's been playing pretty well, though. 17-0 now.
Damn.
Did you get the Panthers at Rams?
Yeah, we're doing that one next. Panthers
love
plus
the-
11. It's my
love-
favorite.
Love the Panthers.
Love them. Love them.
Oh, they're getting
Love
11.
'em, love 'em,
They're getting
love 'em,
11
love 'em,
at,
love 'em.
at LA.
First
could be
off,
the
the
bet of the
Rams are
century.
not good enough to
wow.
be giving
Yeah.
anybody 11 points. The Rams
No.
stink right now.
You know
Coach-
that team's going to be
Coach
playing with a
firing.
lot of emotion too, because
And I think Matt Rule lost that locker room.
Yeah, you know this
And I
team's going to be
think
playing
Wilkes
with a
comes
lot of
in,
heart.
and I don't think Baker's going to be able to play either.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Rule's out, Baker's out. You take out the trash, you go out to LA, and you have yourself a ball game.
Who's gonna
They
QB
might win.
for
What's the
them?
money line?
Plus
Who's gonna-
375 for Carolina.
Yeah, I'll nibble on that, and I'm definitely taking the Panthers plus 11.
Who's QB
Love
for
it.
the Panthers? Darnold.
Probably Darnold.
Darnold or Matt Corral? They drafted Matt Corral in the
You
third
know-
Put
round.
Matt Corral out there.
You
Is
know,
Corral hurt though? I think
could
Corral's
see-
hurt.
I could see
Is he?
Darnold going out
Yeah.
to
Well,
LA.
Oh,
he
no,
got
he
hurt in
is
his
hurt.
bowl
Matt
game. He
Corral's
sprained
hurt.
his knee in his bowl game last year.
No,
I
I'm
think
pretty
he's
sure.
better.
I'm pretty sure he hurt himself in the preseason.
No,
And
he
I
did.
like
Right.
Matt Corral. I think
He's out
good.
for the season.
Yeah, he's out for the season.
Do you know that he
Matt Corral's
Darnold-
out for the season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he tore an ACL in the preseason.
Darnold went to LA a couple of years ago with the Jets. I think when they were 1-15 or 2-14, Darnold went out to LA and won that game for the Jets. I don't know if you guys remember that, but was it 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you remember the game when the Jets went out to LA against the Rams and
Yeah.
beat them?
Yeah. I do
Jimmy
remember
remembers
that.
it. Yeah, I could tell you
Yeah.
remember that. That was Darnold's game.
Yep. Everybody
Darnold
thought
played
Sam
his
Darnold
best.
was. Everybody thought Darnold
Well,
was the best
they were-
quarterback in
the
that
Jet-
draft.
The Jet fans were all thinking that he was the best quarterback in the draft. Yes, a lot of people did. If I remember correctly, Rob, you were the one that said Josh Allen was, and everybody was giving you all kinds of shit for that.
For what? Sorry.
You were the one that said back when they had that draft with Darnold and Baker and Allen. I remember you mentioning that you thought
I like
Allen.
No, I like Baker. I
You
like Baker
liked
and
Allen
Lamar.
too, though. I think you made a comment about Allen back then. You thought that he might be the sleeper out of all of them.
I don't remember. I know. I do remember in that draft. I was a big Baker guy, and I was a big Lamar Jackson guy. Because who else went? Like Lamar went, and Darnold went.
Josh
Rosen.
Rosen. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I didn't like Josh Rosen.
No. There's 8.
I don't
Josh
remember what I
Rosen
thought
even
about
in the
Josh
league?
Allen.
Is he even in the league right now?
I don't really like guys that think.
I don't think
Big
he's
Ten
rostered.
SEC, so I probably didn't like Josh Allen.
Maybe he's playing in Canada.
I don't think Rosen's rostered. You got
Plays for the
Bills,
Philadelphia Stars.
guys. We got Bills at Chiefs, and
I have Bills at Chiefs, the rematch.
100%
Well,
of
here's
game
what's
for Josh
happening
Allen.
right
That's
here.
gonna
The
be
Chiefs are
fireworks.
looking ahead.
That could
Yeah.
be. That they're playing like they are.
That could
Yeah,
be it.
and I'm looking at the Chiefs are a home dog to Buffalo.
I think Buffalo's going to beat them.
I'm all
Buffalo
over
beat them
Buffalo.
last year during the season.
All over Buffalo.
Is this at Arrowhead or no?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
Chiefs are home dogs, 2.5.
You know, Buffalo
take-
went and they purposely brought in Von Miller specifically for the Chiefs. They specifically got him just so that just because they thought he'd be a good matchup against the Chiefs. So you want to talk about a team that went all in this year?
the Chiefs are all out of sync right now. They're playing garbage. Still a lot of time left, but they're already in a 17-0 hole.
And they're dropping
And-
passes.
They're not getting deep at all. Who's that? Juju, number 9?
Mhm.
Yep.
So who do you guys got? Bills or Chiefs?
I like
got
the
Bills.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I take the Bills.
I like fading revenge games.
Do you think the money line? Do you think the money line will change after today's game if they lose?
I don't even have it here. I don't even have it here posted yet.
That's probably going to be like a 52.5, maybe.
That
That's gonna
MGM has it at 53.5
Wow.
right now.
For the over-under. What's the money line, Jimmy?
Money line, Chiefs are plus 120.
There you
Bills
go.
are minus 145.
Yeah, there's a flag.
Who's on next Monday night? Primetime games.
Broncos at Chargers Monday night, and then you got Cowboys at Eagles Sunday night.
We have to see the Broncos again?
Yeah.
Why
Both
are they
those teams.
torturing
The
us like
Chargers,
this?
I got news for you. The Chargers, they're not anything special either.
No. And Herbert
just
still
not.
has that injury. Yeah.
The
There's
AFC's all
always
jumbled up right
something-
now.
There's always something wrong with the Los Angeles Chargers. It's very strange. I think they may need a coaching change after this season.
The Chiefs are getting manhandled on the offensive line. Is that Crosby again?
Oh my God.
He's a menace, that guy.
I didn't know they had Chandler Jones.
Yeah, they signed him in the offseason from the Cardinals.
They have a very good front line. The Raiders. They had a good front line last year too.
Because what's the deal with Russ? He's hurt now.
Russ stinks.
Thank God we did not trade for him. I regret saying everything.
Yeah, me
Me
too.
too. Thank God.
Me too.
Thank God we didn't trade for him either.
Yeah. Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts are both way better than Russell Wilson right now.
Imagine saying that like a year ago today, just saying that Jalen Hurts
I've
is
never
better.
seen a worse interception in my life than that game. Than that game on Thursday.
He's giving Carson Wentz a run for his money.
Look at this run. Holy shit.
That was a great one. It was at McKinnon.
So you guys got
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Cowboys or Eagles -4.5. Eagles have
I got
-4.5.
5 on DraftKings.
I think
I like the
Eagles by
Eagles.
field goal.
I think the Eagles win the game.
I don't like the line at all.
I think that's a lot of points, but that's
too
a
many.
suspicious amount of points. I think
I love the Eagles in this game.
I think the Eagles are going to win that game, and they're going to win fairly easily.
I haven't
I'd say
bet
like
for or against the
27.
Eagles.
I could say 27-10 Eagles.
I haven't bet for
I'm
or
with you,
against
Brad.
the Eagles at all this season.
There's one thing that we always can agree on. Okay, Dallas. I hate Dallas. I may not like the Eagles at all, but Dallas is a whole different level of hate. I mean,
I'm
the
with
way
you.
they used to beat up the Giants when I was a kid. Okay, and they used to just get clobbered, and they would always run up the score. I mean, if it was 28-0, with 2 minutes to go in the game, they'd be calling timeout to make it 35-0, without any problems. They did that stuff all the time. So you develop a healthy hatred towards a team that does that.
Yeah, I don't like it. It strikes me as too many points. I think it's going to be a
That's why
drag out.
That's why I like the Eagles.
So, yeah, you're going because it's fishy. You think it's fishy.
Exactly. I think that's a fishy line. It shouldn't be more than like 3.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Let's enjoy the rest of Monday Night Football. Thank you to everyone who liked, subscribed, and shared our show. Thank you for our great sponsors. Gleason's Bar and Grill, off campus, down the Ocean City Boardwalk, Specialized Physical Therapy, Bet USA, Manscaped, everyone. For Jimmy, Evan, Brad, and myself, Rob Brinkman. We will see you next Monday. Peace out, everybody.
See you.